Hey, be sure to tune into this week's weekly video fishing forecast. We're going to have a preview of the digital edition that just came out on Monday, as well as more as the print issue that came out for August of the Fisherman magazine. We're going to go around the map, see what has been going on recently as far as fishing goes. We have a bunch of events coming up as well, some big ones that we're going to make an announcement about, and we have an open boat special with Jenni Ackerman.
The ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast, the Fisherman magazine.
New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
Today is August 7, 2025, and we are going to take another look at the August glossy edition of the Fisherman magazine that just came out. Let's take a look at some of the local articles. Starting off, we have Tuna Fishing on a Budget. That's by Will Graham of the East End Anglers. Hot Nights, Heavy Hits, Warm Weather Striper Fishing, from Tactics, from the Jig to the Eel by George Jen. Then we have Midsummer Abyss, The Search for Deep Purple, all about going for those summer sea bass by Tony Salerno. Patrick Parlay, that is by Doc Muller. And we have Fishing Live Spot for Stripers, Fluke, and On the Offshore Scene by Tom Melton. And we also have that weekly edition of the Fisherman magazine. Is that digital issue. We have a bunch of cool columns and articles in that one as well. Let's take a quick look at that. Starting off, we have surf article. It's called Speed Kills by Dave Anderson. Then our inshore column is called Southern Summer Guests. I wrote that up. It's about the southern species that come up this area this time of the year. Then our offshore column is 10 Northeast Canyon Planning Trips. If you're going offshore this time of the year, definitely take a look at that article. And we have a tackle tip for you as well. It's all on soft-sided tackle boxes. All this and more in the digital issue of the Fisherman magazine. We're going to head on over to Jenni Ackerman with this week's Open Boat episode.
Hey guys, on this week's Open Boat, we're out here fluking, but I'm gonna give you the final phase of the Super Flukers Challenge, phase 4. It's the dog days of summer, but that doesn't mean fluke fishing is over yet. Sometimes early September, a second wave of big fluke come in, and tying in those big fluke for your submission for phase 4, I want to see your biggest fluke of this season, the 2025 season. I don't want to see old pictures from 2006, I can tell. But this season, let me see your biggest fish. And don't be shy or ashamed if you just got an 18-incher. I don't care. Any fish is a good fish as long as you've caught it yourself. So send me your biggest fish. Maybe we'll see some double digits on there. And stay tuned, because all of the fluke that I've gathered from the Super Fluker Challenge, we're going to showcase at the end of the season in September. So good luck, catch them up, and I'll catch you guys on next week's Open Boat.
Got some upcoming events around the island. Let's get right into them. Starting off, we have a Town of Islip Public Freshwater Clinic. That is on August 14th. Then we have the Great Gun Anglers' 3rd Annual Chet Wilcox Memorial Fluke Tournament on August 16th. On August 16th and 17th as well is a Youth Snapper and Crab Derby that will take place at Capt State Park at Capt Bait, Fuel, and Tackle. Then at Corey Beach on the 21st is a crabbing and snapper fishing clinic. Then the 27th Annual Snapper Derby takes place. That's at Lindenhurst Marina. That's the 23rd of August. And for all the details on these events and all the rest of the information, go to thefisherman.com/events.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing: that nothing says no to fish bites.
Now let's get the latest on the Dreamboat and our coastal kayak clash.
It's August 7th, and here are the entries for the Fisherman Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. We have 3 fluke hitting the board this week, so here we go. First fluke is from New England subscriber Richard Pomgrant of Attleboro, Massachusetts, with an 11.20 pound fluke weighed in at Red Top Sporting Goods, which puts Richard in 3rd place in the fluke category. Next up is Bruce Bear, a Long Island subscriber from Freeport, New York, weighing in his fluke at Capital Bait and Tackle at 11.88 pounds, putting Bruce in second. Our third fluke entry comes from Fernando Lage, New England subscriber from Seymour, Connecticut, weighed in at D's Bait and Tackle with a 7.07 pounder, which puts Fernando in 10th spot for the fluke category. The leaderboard stands at Rashawn Williams in first place with 17 points, Thomas Luciano second with 16 points, Jeffrey Harrison taking third with 15 points. Are you the best angler in the Northeast? Well, now is your chance to prove it. The Fisherman's Dreamboat Contest is back. Win this Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha along with these other great prizes. Fish hard and weigh in as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. What's the catch? You must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. All it takes is one fish on the board to win a great prize, so however you fish, you have a shot. For all the details and official rules, visit thefisherman.com. There were no new entries in the Coastal Kayak Clash. Dustin Stevens is in first with 9 points, Rotha Nong has 6 points, and Tom Howard has 5 points. Hey kayakers, the Fisherman's Coastal Kayak Clash contest is back. Win this fully outfitted Hobie Mirage Lynx kayak from Yak Attack along with other great prizes. Catch and release as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. To enter, you must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, fish from a kayak, and document your catch. Many chances to win great prizes, so get out there on the water now and fish hard. To be part of the action, you must be a subscriber and register at thefisherman.com.
And if you are participating in any of the Fisherman magazine's tournaments, be sure to read the rules carefully and fill out your forms completely. With that being said, let's go to our Around the Map segment. Starting off on the west end of the island, we got a bunch of cobia reports for you. I have been mentioning these past few weeks that there has been some cobia around, especially on the west end, starting at Fire Island going west. Dylan Temple, he fished on the west end of the island out of Jones Inlet area, and he had these 2 cobia. Remember, the limit is 2 per boat, and he had his friend also on the boat. Obviously, he took the picture. So they had 2 nice cobia, really nice fish. Nice job, Dylan and friend. Stephen Whiteson, he had a really nice cobia as well. That was on the west end of 43 pounds. Nice job, Steve. Arnie was fishing on the Captain Lou. He had this 30-inch, 8-pound fluke. That was on the Star Stream. They're out of Freeport. They said on that trip they had about 40 keeper fluke, a few sea bass. Fish was caught on a gulp tip with a fluke ribbon out on the reefs on that end of the island, top of the outgoing tide. South Shore, moving on. Tyler Steger, 25-inch fluke, 7-pounder was on the Mauritius Reef. It's always some nice fish on the reef this time of year. Just got to put your time in, fish around the structure. You should find some nice fish. Tyler also has been busy this week fishing. He sent me another picture. This time 70 miles out of Mauritius. Nice bluefin tuna. Nice job, Tyler. Way to get out there, putting in some effort. Captain Roger from Venture Charters. We're moving on to the east end of the island. He said that the bluefin fishing has been on fire. Got this one from the Butterfish Hole. Nice job. Also, another tuna report for Luke out by Habs past Montauk. It's another bluefin tuna. It's been hot out that way as well. Moving on up north. This thresher shark was caught next to Fisher's Island on the south side of the island. The anglers are Luke and Owen. Took an hour and 10 minutes to get the shark in. They said they've been planning the trip for a while, made up all their own rigs, and it all came together. Nice success story right there. Moving on to the north shore of the island, Andrew Winter, he checked in and said he went kayak fishing on the Eastern Sound, was jigging a 4-inch pink shine gulp. That's been a hot color this year. There's a large school of something under him. He was marking on his fish finder. Thought it was bluefish, and to his surprise, they're all weakfish. This one he got here was 24 inches and 4.5 pounds on the boga. Said he's definitely doing the Kayak Clash next year, and if you are a kayak angler, I encourage you to do the Kayak Clash yourself. And if you do have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I will try and get that picture into the weekly video fishing forecast or the magazine. Our meteorologist, Rich Von Ohlen, his weekend weather forecast is brought to you by Premium Bucktails. Rich.
Hey, thanks, Matt. We'll check that weekend weather forecast. You can always check your favorite apps, weather tools, weather sites, as we get closer. This is a general heads up, general overview on the upcoming weekend. So just want to start things out on sort of a sad note here. It's been kind of a rough week for me. and some of my closest friends and close anglers here across the island. We lost one of our own, unfortunately, this week to a tragic scuba diving accident last Wednesday. William Berlisi Jr., also known as Billy B., perhaps Billy Baggs may have heard him as he's been fishing so long here across the island for so many years with us on our private vessels, some of the party boats, charter boats, head boats all across Long Island and the northeastern areas. And terrific bottom fisherman. He's caught so many blackfish, so much fun to be around and watch him just do his thing there. We're all saddened by the loss of Billy B. We just had so many great years together, so many great times together, lots of laughs and lots of fish, and he was just terrific. And if you happen to notice him or catch him on some of the party boats across the South Shore, he's like one of the crew members. It was just kind of one of a kind, and really passionate. And he was so into the fishing. It's like it was fun to watch him just do his thing and catch some of these really terrific fish across the Northeast. Had so many good times with me and my crew and all our friends together on some of the charter boats, some of the trips out to Montauk, Rhode Island, and all across the Northeast. And he's going to be sorely missed. It's been a rough week, just devastating and very heartbreaking to see him go. So tight lines, rest in peace, Billy. And, we're going to miss you. All right, so back to forecast and the weather for the weekend. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. Billy will be watching us and hopefully bringing us all some good fishing this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It looks like not much in the way of wind or heat or any kind of rain, but there's an offshore storm there. You want to be careful. Some of the ocean swells maybe getting up to 4 to 8. Some of the breakers coming into the inlets. So you know the drill, right? South Shore guys, going out in the ocean. There's been some really good fluking across some of the reefs and some of the South Shore areas. So if you're going to go out there, just watch yourselves in the inlets, especially at low tide. Temperature's not bad, not too hot, a little humid for the weekend, but not terrible. I think 70s, 80s should do. Guru looks good for Friday. A little southeast breeze, maybe not perfect, but not too bad. Not much wind on Saturday and Sunday. This may pick up a little bit depending on how close that tropical system offshore gets, but I do think we're going to get some swells, especially Saturday and Sunday. So just watch yourself in the ocean going out of the inlets. Get a little bit of a heave coming in, probably some rip currents there. Again, all 3 days should be fishable. The bays, the sound should be terrific. Peconic Bay, I think, will be in good shape. You can check my forecast, Weather Express. I do update that quite a bit. And again, it's just been kind of a rough week here, but we'll miss Billy. But we'll get out this weekend. We're going to fish hard. He'll be watching us, and hopefully we'll have some really good fishing and good weather conditions for the upcoming weekend. So get out, catch him up, and be safe as always. Matt, back to you.
We're going to move on over to Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you. Well, greetings everybody from Montauk. Sorry I haven't made a couple reports in the last few weeks. Been kind of busy running around. Actually kind of been out of town. But the fishing is still pretty spectacular in regards to the inshore tuna bite. Tuna are within under 20 miles. People are getting anywhere from 40 pounds all the way up to small giants. The giant fishery is going pretty good. The Alexa Ray, which is Billy Joel's boat, they caught a nice giant the other day, and Richard Nessel was the captain on that. Kenny Hadachek had a nice fish today. That was with his charter. I believe it was around 70 inches, which was pretty close inshore as well. Striped bass, there's still a lot of big bluefish around. There's some striped bass around, but a lot of them have moved out towards the deeper, cooler water, towards like Block Island. Fluke fishing is definitely picked up, and sea bass is still pretty consistent as well. The offshore report, I talked to little Steven on the Viking 5-star. The east wind kind of slowed things down a little bit, but they still manage a bunch of really nice yellowfin up to 100 pounds. And there's a bunch of mahi around. They did have one small swordfish last night. That's about it. So enjoy the weekend. Get out there, do some fishing, get your tuna gear ready, and go catch them up. Thank you, Matt.
At the edge of Long Island, where the ocean meets tradition, Montauk Anglers Club can be your boat's home and your gateway to legendary fishing. Whether you're a pro or just casting your first line, this is where memories are made. Join Montauk Anglers Club, where the catch of the day is just the beginning. Or go to montaukanglersclub.com for more information.
From Shinnecock, we have Mike Dean.
Thanks, man. Hey, everyone. Typical summer fishing going on. There's a lot of opportunities to catch anything from small stuff to big stuff going on right now. Even though there's really no striped bass around, there's a lot you can do. The tuna bite, like I said, the tuna spread out a little bit. Not to say they're not out there, but after that blow, they weren't in the same spots. A couple of guys went out a little bit deeper and found some really big yellowfin. My buddy Mike Monet on his boat, the Triple Play. He was out with Dennis Kelly from Garden City, 115-pound yellowfin They brought it in on a, they were on a spinning rod. They were jigging with a Nomad Streaker jig, and it were a great fish for these guys. They weighed in at Oakland's, biggest that's been weighed in at Oakland's this season, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, if they had this fish in the Canyon Challenge a couple of weeks ago, it would have won there. So totally legit fish. Happy for those guys. Adrian Moeller is still crushing them on rockfish. He's going to do some open boats, so keep an eye open for that. So that's the tuna thing. And you can get access to fluke off of the beach. I tried it last week. I'm trying to get the hang of it. Very similar like the first few times you go black fishing, but when you have like a 1 ounce bucktail with a gulp or a fish bite on there, they're there and they take it. It's pretty cool. So that's one option. There's a lot of whatever you want to call them, sand fleas, mole crabs, but you can go to the shoreline and just with your hands dig up these crabs, throw them on a circle hook, maybe like no weight or just a little bit of weight on it, and something's going to bite, be it a fluke, be it a resident striper. So that's going on. The regular fluke bite, Hampton Lady's doing very well, as well as Shinnecock Star. There's still fish in Shinnecock Bay, and there's plenty outside in the ocean. Also some really nice sized porgies on some of the full day trips. But most people have been trying to figure out what's going on with the tuna again. So that could be exciting to see what happens this weekend. Everyone's going to get into some fish. I can feel it. Okay, back to you, Matt.
From Northport, we have the Cow Harbor Baits and Tackle report.
Wow, we're into the first week in August. We still have striped bass. They're hanging deep, but they're coming up on the plateaus. They've been at 15. They've been at Center Island Reef. They've been on Target Rock, off of Target Rock area sometimes. We've been doing pretty well over at the OB and the Triangle, up all the way at the top 11B, right on that Connecticut section. You can go over to 28C and try it. Crane's Neck in the deep areas are going to be good. The bass, what they're so keyed into right now are live baits. You might go through with bucktails and try trolling or doing jig and spoons and stuff, and you'll be like, I'm not hooking up, even if you see the fish on your electronics. These fish are so keyed into live bait at this time of the year. It's August. The water is less oxygen in the high areas. It's warmer. So the fish are not as driving, as you could say, as when we had those cooler spring waters. So they're going to be like wham bam, hit that bait, and they're going to be maybe 1 or 2 baits and be satiated, and they're going to split down to the deep again. So we've been using spot. We sell a lot of spot at the shop. I always tell it, and every single time someone's like, hey Mark, hey Phil, I want to try one of those spot, they come back, they're like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm catching bass. And the answer is yes, you will catch bass. Those live baits are just so key. Porgies are around, the clam chum, put out some clam chum, all kinds of fish come over. The Porgian's been nonstop. Worms, clams, squid, that's fine. We're getting some blowfish in the mix. I've seen kingfish showing up. Kingfish up to 17, 18 inches. And they're a delicious fish as well. Bunker in the back. I just started seeing like 3-inch, 4-inch, these peanut bunker in large 10 and 12-inch diameter schools swirling around. Not sure if there's a predator underneath, but these fish are in 6 to 15 feet of water right now. Out in the bay, we still have 2 and 3 pound cocktail blues, and they're chasing all these smaller baits. Spearing, butterfish are around. I'm not seeing the anchovy so much as smaller fish inside the bay right now. On the outside, it seems like I'm not seeing a whole lot of bait at times. So we'll watch electronics. We see big bait ball come through, hang by that bait ball. And look, there should be predator fish around. If you're fishing for large fluke or porgies or sea bass, I would definitely be looking at wrecks. I would be looking at 60 to 80, 90 feet of water and using large strip baits. Get a fresh bunker and strip and use the whole side of that bunker. Sounds big, but that's what these big fluke want. They're gonna hang out, they're gonna be calm, and then when some big fish comes by, like a 6 to 7 inch fish, they're gonna hammer it. They got big mouths. Big fluke has a big mouth like that, so it's gonna inhale one of those bigger baits, and that's what it wants. You go by with a little 3-inch gulp sometimes, they're not keyed into that as much. Other stuff that's going on. Bluefish, we got WICCs coming up in a few weeks. So the larger bluefish, they're more towards the east right now. But usually this time of the year, they're going to start coming down. They're going to filter in. They're going to catch on some of those butterfish and then, just start eating up a storm. So that's fantastic. See some weakfish in the mix. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of blue crabs now showing up in the back of the harbor. So that's like a great thing. Grab your crab nets, do some chicken, have some fun with the kids. Snappers are like 4 or 5 inches right now. So they're rapidly growing. They're doing what snappers do. So we'll probably see snappers right into October as usual. And there's so much to do. This is that time of the year. It's getting hot, but it's cooled down so much that it's fantastic to go out and just take advantage of these days. And we're creating memories. Big thank you out to my buddy Bill. He invited me out the other day to go with his friend Chris and put him on bass and, just had some great fillets for dinner and a wonderful memory with the guys. There's so much to do. Watch tides. Want to make sure those tides are pushing hard. That's when the bass come out to play. Come out of the deep, they sit on the flats, and if you know where they are, you drift a live bait through that. You can't, I'm telling you. I brought my wife out with me, and she was shocked. We drop a fish, have a fish within like a minute, easy. When they're there, of course, you got to find them. You got to know what you're doing. Drop down the spot with the right spot rig, instantaneous hookup, and it's amazing to see the poles just doubled over with these beautiful fat slot fish. I hope you go out and enjoy yourself and create some of these memories as well. If you want to grab a charter or a boat to go out, feel free to call us at the shop. We've got a lot of great friends that are charter captains, and they'll put you on fish and really create a great time for you. Until next week, I bid you all peace and tight lines.
From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, we have Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, inshore fishing, Fire Island, a lot of short fish. A buddy of mine fished real hard. Outside the inlet, inside. Keeper ratio is about 30-1, shorts to keepers. But there's plenty of action to have some fun, but that's about it on terms of keeper. Bottom fishing is excellent, all kinds of fish now. Everything is here, blowfish, triggerfish, you name it. So anchor up someplace with a chum pot and you're going to have some fun, especially for young kids. A couple of weakfish early in the morning. That's about it. That's what I've heard. And that's about it. So anyway, it's getting going. A little bit of cool weather will help, and we'll see what happens here next week.
With our fly and freshwater report, we do have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, this has been an interesting week with all this hot weather. Then we got that torrential rain, which we needed, but it kind of put a kibosh on my guiding this past Saturday. I was supposed to guide on the Housatonic, but it went way up. It went from less than 300 to over 1,400. So you can't fish in that kind of weather on the Housatonic and that kind of water flows. But the good news is we didn't have any rain since then. It's dropping down very nicely, and I rescheduled my guided trip. I'll be doing the smallmouth on the Housatonic this coming Saturday. So you'll hear about those reports. Now, the reports I'm getting is my nephew's up there fishing right now, and he said it's banner fishing. And not only that, but besides, they're fishing for smallmouth, and they're catching a lot of them on crayfish patterns and streamers, roy buggers, and all kinds of things. But what really is good is the white flyer there. They had a blizzard hatch, and it's going to be a phenomenal fishery this weekend. I can't wait. I really can't wait. Now, as far as saltwater goes, well, the stripers still are a little tough. It's still warm. The water's warm, and it's more of a night game. But if you want action, there are bay blues around, and we're starting to see little bonita, and we're starting to see some Spanish mackerel show up in the inlets. Van was fishing one of the inlets recently, and he did very well. He had some really nice bluefish, and he had some shots at some bonita. As far as the ponds fishing, well, they're a little weedy, but if you get out early in the morning, you can have great fun with a panfish, and you can have it with a bass, but it's an early morning. I just stopped at one of the local ponds just to take a look. I wasn't fishing, and I saw monster carp, and they're all happily feeding. So the next time, I'm definitely going to put in a carp rod up on my rod racks on top of my car. Now, if you really want a really good adventure, I have one spot open for my Montana trip in September, on the September 13th. It is an amazing trip. I've been there many, many times. You're going to, the scenery is unbelievable. The fishing's unbelievable. It's a great time of year. No crowds, lower water, no bugs. Great time to be there. September 13th. If you're interested, contact me at 516-415-7748. It's a great deal. Now, as far as everything else goes, well, it is the doldrums, supposedly, but there is still a lot of fishing to be had. And until next week, tie lines, everybody.
In the famed waters of Panama awaits a fishing experience like no other. Tropic Star Lodge welcomes anglers to get in on world-famous fishing action. Plan your perfect trip today. Tropic Star Lodge, the ultimate in fishing adventures for more than 60 years.
From the Western Sound, we have Nuno Decosta from Tyalure Tackle in Rye.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. A great day here in the Western Long Island Sound. We came out with some live bait for striped bass. Very happy to report we got a ton of bite-offs and break-offs from bluefish and landed quite a few. We'll post some videos for you guys. Fishing is really, really good out here still. Amazing how many striped bass are still out here. We decided to put on a troll right now because we read a lot of fish up midway, and a lot of guys were doing well trolling the umbrellas. As far as the porgy fishing, that remains consistent. Same with the spots out there, the croakers. Fluke fishing is decent, guys, and the offshore, the yellowfin has been absolutely amazing. Big guys down to the east, and a lot of inshore bluefin out there, guys. It is go time now. We're in August, we're deep into the summer. Take advantage of good weather windows and head out there. We're open every day from 7 to 7. Tight lines, everyone.
Rob Greco of the Long Island Outdoorsman checks in from Rockville Center.
Hello, fisherman readers. This is Robert from Long Island Outdoorsman giving you this week's fishing report. Starting with Inshore. Well, let's start with the crabbing report. I was out with the family yesterday. We went for about an hour and a half after work, right until dusk, and we did really well. We had about 13 keeper blue claws in about 90 minutes. Not bad. Considering I had, a bunch of little kids running around driving me crazy, but they had a ball, they had a lot of fun, and we steamed them up last night, and I'm gonna end up cooking them tonight. So that was a lot of fun, and the snappers are starting to jump around, chasing the peanut bunkers and the spearing and stuff, so the canals are starting to come alive a little bit. As far as the fluke report remained strong inside the bay, as well as that the reefs. In fact, my dad was out yesterday, and right next to him was a party boat, and he saw them net a massive fish. We found out later on it was a 31-inch fluke over at the local reef south of Debs Inlet. So that was pretty impressive. I believe the boat was the Golden Eagle out of Jersey, but they were fishing, our reefs. So yeah, pretty impressive fluke. As far as the tuna report, still remains solid. It seems to be not quite as what it was with the bigger bluefin, but we are hearing some more yellowfins and a lot of mahi and a lot of action out there, stuff to keep you busy. So yeah, definitely worth making the run out to the tuna grounds. And cobia reports, it's a hunt. It's not like they're just gonna jump right on the line right away. You got to weed through a lot of bluefish, got to weed through a lot of sharks, but if you're able to do that, eventually you're gonna connect with a cobia. We're hearing 30, 40, and even up to 50-pound cobia is being caught. So, and the porgy bite still remains strong even inside the bay. Jamaica Bay, they're getting a lot of porgies. North Shore, they're getting a lot of porgies. So a lot of stuff to do. All right, guys, thanks. Back to you.
west end of the island, we have Ryan, Charleston.
Thanks, Matt. Hey guys, Ryan here with your Western Long Island surf fishing report. Fluke fishing's been hot since mid-July, just slowing down over the last couple of days. I had my personal best fluke from the surf this weekend, coming in at 26 inches and 6.8 pounds. Lots of quality fish are being picked off the beaches. Gulp on a jig head or bucktails with teasers has been the ticket. Bluefish have been cruising our beaches and bays anywhere from snapper size up to that 6 to 8 pound class. There are some reports of pelagics and weakfish around as well. We have officially crossed the midway point of summer and fall is beginning to creep up. I'm excited to see some bigger fluke move in and stack up in the inlets towards the end of this month into September as they prepare for their migration. I will be back soon to update you guys on anything notable in our area before the fall run commences. Until then, best of luck out there, tight lines, and I will catch you guys soon. Back to you, Matt.
From the Breezy Point area, we have Calvin from Fishing the Atlantic.
All right, here we are. Look at that. We got a beautiful cod and boil right in back of us. We just snagged one, and it's actually a school of herring. So let's see. We just pulled up to the spot, but right now the cobia are out. So we're hoping that you can find a nice cobia under one of these boils. The word is there's also a lot of bluefish. So we got a couple of members out right now on our 28-foot center console Edgewater. Everyone's trying to hook up with hopefully a cobia, and we got some boys out here too. So we're fishing out here as a fleet together, and we just actually got back from AB Reef, and we got some fish. So check it out. You can expect to catch some fluke still. We have a couple keeper fluke, as well as a porgy. So we got a couple porgies, couple keeper flukes. So we got a good mixed bag going on, and that's what you can expect right about now. So get on out. Look at that, huh? Look at this, live action. Boys working hard. But yeah, if you want to come fish with us, we're open to others joining our fishing club, fishingatlantic.com. You can find us on Instagram, fishingatlantic_. Send us a message and we start fishing. But tight lines and get out there, and back to you.
Well, thank you folks for listening in on the video fishing forecast this week. Hopefully inspired you to go out fishing this week or the weekend. Weather looks good. Sun's going to be coming out. Wind is going to lay down. Might not be the best for the smaller boats offshore, but if you have a bigger boat, you can still get in on those fish. Looks like it might be okay. But the inshore fishing, still a good option. The fluke in the bays, some triggerfish showing up around the rock piles and stuff like that. There's probably some bluefish in the bays as well. Shinnecock, Mauritius, Fire Island. A lot to do. Get out there, go fishing this weekend. Send those pictures in, and we'll see you next week.